There was an opportunity for them to really sneak away. Justin King made a heck of a play on a ball that was a little bit short that had he not been there, it was nothing but the end zone in front of the returner. So that was disappointing. We like to corral the ball and have a bunch of guys in front of the returner. We got to do a better job as far as our coverage units and making sure that there's no opportunity for big returns.
Mark, was Aaron Medley out there on the practice field today?
Yeah, Aaron's been out there all week. Yep.
Okay, I missed him. Well, just generally, Butch was pretty jazzed, I guess, when he talked to the media yesterday about special teams and improving in that area.
Yeah, absolutely.
What can you guys do to take the steps that he's wanting?
Well, it's just a consistency in performance, and the reality of it is special teams. There's so much space, and you need all 11 guys on special teams doing their job. Like, for example, on a kickoff return, you could have 10 guys do their job, and if the right center whiffs on his block, that guy can run down the field and make the tackle, and then you stink as a kickoff return unit. So it has to be a consistency in performance of the whole unit performing to the expectation level at the same time. And so every guy is 1/11th of the formula there, and if you're missing any part of it, you're not going to be very good. So we've got to get better. Our coverage units weren't where they need to be. Our kick placement needs to be better. So those things are things that we definitely need to improve.
What do you think of Matt Darr's performance Sunday, and is he going to be healthy enough to kick on Saturday?
Yeah, Matt's progressing well. We don't think there's going to be any issues. I mean, just rolled up a little bit. He's fine. The ball placement needs to be a little bit better as far as that was concerned. He had one short one. The hang time wasn't bad, but we need the ball placement. That's an important part of things. If we're punting the ball to the big field, we need the ball in a certain spot. If we're punting into the boundary, we need it to a certain spot. So then that way, because the coverage unit, they don't see where the ball is until it gets down the field. They're running to where they're expecting it to be. And if I'm expecting it to be on a certain spot in the field and it's 20 yards to the left of that, that's a problem because you don't figure it out until it's a little bit too late. So that's where it's an important thing to place the ball in the proper spot so we can corral the ball and make sure that it doesn't get out.
Butch was saying that your kicking job's still in competition. Does Aaron have kind of an edge there, or is it still going to be another game time decision, or how's that looking?
Well, we feel we got two guys that are performing at about the same level. So we're going to always go with the hot leg, I guess you could frame it. So we're going to go with the guy that's performing best leading up to the day of. And that's what it was as far as the decision for week one, and that's what it'll be again coming up here for week two. So we're going to go with the person that's performing at the highest consistency leading up to game time.
Is it where you tell the guy Friday, tell the guy that day, or how does that
it could go up until game time. I mean, if it's close enough, we're going to make a decision based upon who's kicking the best that day as well. So that's where we're at, and that's a good thing. It's a good thing to have competition. It's a good thing to have two guys that you feel like can perform at a winning level for you at a certain position.
Aaron missed one kick, pretty badly, but nailed the other one right down the middle. I mean, what's his confidence level been like this week?
Good. I mean, he got the ground on the one that he missed, so he kind of nubbed the ground before the ball, which obviously led to the kick being off. But then drilled the next one, and that was a good thing to see him bounce back. I mean, that's part of being a good kicker. No one's going to go out there and make every field goal in the whole year. How are you going to respond to adversity? And that's an important part of being a kicker is having a short memory, whether you're kicking great or not. You need to have a short memory to go into the next one like you're 0 for 0 for the day, and I got to drill this one because it's for the game.
Yeah, Butch said that Aaron came up to him and said, "Coach, I got it," after that first miss. Have you seen that kind of similar mentality from him in that game in the last few days?
Absolutely. He's a guy that handles adversity pretty well. He doesn't hang his head, and we wanted to put him in some situations. You have a guy kick some long field goals, you're not going to make a high percentage of it. You want to see the reaction of those guys. And we've had days like that where we put him out there and wanted him to kick 6 50-yard field goals, and you're not going to hit 6 for 6 very often, and you wanted to see how's that kid going to react when the whole team's up there and he misses 2 or 3 balls. Is he going to hang his head? Because that's going to give you an indication of what he'll do on a Saturday if he misses a kick. Hey, is he going to hang his head and lose his confidence, or is he going to keep his head high and have confidence in himself that he can drill the next one? He showed that in practice when we put him in tough spots, and he went out there and did the same thing on Sunday night.
Did you attribute that first miss to nerves? Was it just the reason he hit the ground, or was it something else?
I think it was a miscue. I asked him, were you nervous out there? And he said no, and he's an honest young man. he would have said, "Oh, I was really nervous. That's what jacked me up." He just nipped the ground on his way to the ball, corrected that on the next one.
I'm sure you've already been asked this 10 times, but what did you see out there that Butch was obviously upset with some of the special team things? What were the breakdowns that you guys saw?
Well, every unit needs to improve. I mean, starting off with kickoff return, we got tackled inside the 20 twice. That's not very good. I mean, that's a poor output, and we got to improve. And in our special teams, you can have 10 guys doing the right thing, and if one guy's off, you got 10 guys block it well, and if the left center misses his guy can run down the field and tackle you inside the 20. Well, that's not very good. Doesn't matter that 10 guys were good. You need to have all 11 working together at a consistently high rate. And so we've got to improve. Kickoff return has got to be every guy getting their guy. Kickoff coverage, ball placement's got to be better, and we've got to do a better job of avoiding blocks and reading the return, I guess you would call it. Kickoff or punt coverage, we got to make sure that the ball placement's there, and we got to do a good job of corralling the ball and making sure we got our points on the returner. So those things really do need to improve. Punt return wise, I mean, they force fair catches every single time. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for opportunities to return. So when you talk about were we happy with the performance, yeah, we had one good play where we caused a fumble. Was it a big play? Absolutely. But one big play doesn't mean a good performance by a unit. It's got to be a consistent deal. You can't have one big play and a bunch of very, very average ones. It's got to be a consistent performance across the board.
You talked about not getting outside the 20 on those 2 kickoff returns. Do you try and maybe give Evan a look this weekend if you have the opportunity to see if maybe he can break something?
I think Evan would do a very good job. Devrin was not the problem. Let's make that be clear. Devrin did a very good job of catching it the way we want him to catch it, trusting the return, and it wasn't there. When it's not there, that's where you see a good returner that trusts the return, when he keeps it going in that, because it's like a run play. It may get 3-1 play, may get 4-1 play, and then when you get that other block that you need, that's when it goes for 25. Well, same thing with kickoff return. It wasn't very good. The returner's got to trust the return. When he starts trying to do his own thing, you're not going to be very good as a return unit. So he did a good job. It's the blocking in front of him that's got to improve.
And then last one for me, what did you think of all your tight ends? I mean, you got to use a lot of different guys. How did you grade out as a unit?
We graded out okay. There was some issues that we need to correct. Need to get the false start on a critical situation. That's not what you're looking for, obviously. We caught the ball well. Everything that hit our hands we came down with. Had missed a couple blocks that we'd like to get back. Had a couple, I wouldn't call them true MAs, but a couple issues as far as kind of your landmarks on the blocks and things along those lines, just understanding the intricate nuances of the blocking scheme that we've got to improve. The young guys, I thought, came out and it wasn't too big of a stadium for them. That was the good thing to see. It's not like they were wide-eyed and going, oh my gosh, 102,000. They both handled that pretty well, but we got to improve.